So we are going to search for an article in Gale, Researching Context, about a social reformer, and take a look at some of the resources available to you there. So again, I am on the Join My Reform Library Resource Guide. I'm going to scroll down to Library Databases, and this time I'm going to click on Gale, Researching Context. The username and passwords, which you will need just like in ABC Clio, are right here. So go ahead and click on that and it will open in a new tab. And while I'm waiting for that to load, you'll notice here I also have my note sheet open in another tab. Okay, so I'm all ready once I find an article to start taking my notes. So I'm going to go ahead to this search box, and this time I'm going to search for a different social reformer, Eugene V. Debs. And I'm putting his name in quotation marks, again, so that the database knows to search for him as a phrase. And go ahead and do a search. And then I get my results. You'll notice that the results are sorted by type of resource. So I have reference articles, which will provide me background information, biographies, which also will provide background information specifically about Debs and his life. I have some primary sources. I have images, which will be super helpful when you go to make your pamphlet. So there's lots of information available. The first thing I'm going to do is select full text documents because it's important that you have access to things in full text. And then I think I'm going to go into biographies. So go ahead and do that. And then you'll see here that I've got 3 biographies. The first 3 all have the same title, which is just his name, Eugene V. Debs. But there are differences between them. And before I even open them up, for example, I can see where they're published. So the title of the publication is right here under his name. Okay, I have the number of words in each publication. So I can see that these are all pretty short articles, with the longest one coming in at 448 words. And this one is actually under 200 words. And I can also see the lexile, so I know which one's going to be easiest to read and which one's going to be hardest to read. And from that information, I can select which one I want to use. So I'm going to go into this first one here. And there's a couple things I'd like you to point out once you find an article that you think will be useful. You can click on Cite. This is where you're going to get the citation for your note sheet. And also you will be able to export this citation to Noodle Tools, which you can watch a different tutorial to find out more information on that. You can send this to yourself. That's how you can email it. Or if you're going to copy the link, don't take this one up here. You're going to go ahead and take this one down here. Okay, you can download the article, whatever. There's lots of different things you can do. Another thing that might be useful is you can listen to the article. So just like ABC Clio, the Gale database will read it to you, and you can also translate it just by clicking here. One of the really cool things about Gale is that you can translate the actual article, but you can also set your interface for a different language. So then that would have like all of these instructions for citations and how to email it and even how to search would appear in whichever language you choose. So that can be very useful. Once, just like in ABC Clio, your search term is going to be highlighted. There will be hyperlinks throughout that will lead you to different articles. And there's also related articles along the side. So once you find one thing that's useful, you really are in a good place to continue searching and navigating through the database. And now in this case, I'm going to go ahead and start reading again. And this box at the top here has some information that I do need. So for example, it does ask where my social reformer was from. And I also can see he was a labor activist. So he's fighting for rights for workers. Okay. And he's from Terre Haute, Indiana. So if I go back here to my note sheet, it's going to say here, when and where was he born? So I can start Eugene V. Debs was born in Terre Haute, Indiana on, and let's see if it gives me his date of birth, November 5th, 1855. So I can do that, November 5th, 1855. Okay, and so I've got that information now, and I just want to make sure that I do include my citation. So I'm going to go over to that box. I'm going to click on Cite at the top here, and I'm just going to copy this MLA citation into my note sheet right there. Okay, let me know if you have any questions at all about using Gale in context.